This is a baby King Kong. Right now, he is literally smaller than a football. He's harmless, he's sleepy, and he just wants to be cuddled. And this is a fully grown King Kong, an absolute titan, an unstoppable force of nature, capable of destroying an entire city in minutes. And today, I am going to simulate exactly what it would be like to raise the undisputed king of the monsters as a house pet. I'm going to build him custom habitats, hand feed him, introduce him to other animals, and take you through every single stage of his crazy life. Okay, look at this little guy. I am currently keeping his room at exactly 85 degrees with a humidifier running 24/7 to simulate the tropical climate of Skull Island. Right now, he is about 12 inches tall. His teeth are tiny. His claws are practically non-existent. And he is so clumsy, he can't even walk 2 steps without falling over. He is the cutest apex predator I have ever seen. But do not let this adorable face fool you. This guy is going to get massive. In order to see what it's really like to raise him, I have to simulate his entire daily routine. And the very first thing on the agenda, breakfast. Because if he's going to grow into a 300-foot monster, he needs calories, and a lot of them. I don't really know what a baby titan eats, so I decided to make him a baby monster tasting menu. We're going to try a bunch of different foods to see what he actually likes.
First up, standard milk from a bottle. Okay, he clearly loves that.
Next, a bowl of fresh berries. Messy, but a success. Then, I gave him a giant pancake. And for some reason, just like a normal kid, pancakes are his absolute favorite thing on earth. But then, I wanted to test something a little more exotic. I gave him a tiny piece of sushi.
Okay, no seafood. Noted. We will stick to the fruits and carbs. But now that his belly is full, it's time for hygiene. Yes, I am going to try and bathe a monkey.
Because he's still a tiny baby, bath time is just happening in the kitchen sink. No giant pools yet, and shockingly, he absolutely loves it. He splashed water everywhere, tried to fight a rubber duck, and then immediately fell asleep in a warm towel. It's crazy to think that in just a few months, I won't even be able to fit him in my house, let alone my sink. Okay, it's been a week, and he is already growing incredibly fast. He's outgrown his bassinet, and he's starting to climb the curtains. He needs a real habitat. A place where he can swing, climb, and actually feel like he's in the jungle. So I decided to dedicate an entire room of my house to building him the ultimate indoor Skull Island terrarium. I'm going to build him a home with everything a growing titan needs. First, I laid down a massive waterproof tarp across the entire floor. Then, I brought in over 500 pounds of organic soil and tropical moss. I want the ground to be soft so he can practice his knuckle walking. Next, I built a giant rock structure in the back corner. This is going to be his private cave. Even titans need some privacy when they sleep. I lined the inside with soft hay and thermal heat mats so it stays perfectly warm. But Kong is an ape, which means he needs verticality. I installed real heavy-duty tree branches from floor to ceiling, connected by thick jungle vines and cargo nets. I basically turned my guest room into a primate ninja warrior course. And finally, a fresh water source. I built a mini waterfall that flows into a shallow pool so he can drink and splash whenever he wants. The entire habitat is completely escape-proof. For now. It was time for him to move in, and his reaction was priceless. He explored every single inch of the place. He climbed the vines. He splashed in the waterfall, and he instantly claimed the highest rock as his throne. He seemed to really enjoy this place. But a pet can't just live in a room forever. He needs to learn how to interact with the real world. Over the next few weeks, Kong's growth rate exploded. He went from 12 inches to almost 3 feet tall. He is getting heavy, and he has energy that literally never ends. Since he's been so friendly with me, I decided it was time to introduce him to some other common house pets to see how he reacts. Starting off with my dog, Buster. Okay, they actually get along great. Kong basically treats the dog like a weird furry horse. He even tried to ride him, which Buster did not appreciate. Next, a cat. Yeah, the alpha titan of Skull Island is terrified of a 10-pound house cat, Good to know. But now that I know he won't eat my dog, it's time to take this creature out into the real world. I'm simulating raising him like a human kid, so we have to go out in public. I got him a specialized harness, and honestly, I expected absolute chaos. But I took him to the local park, and it was incredible. He walked around sniffing everything. He chased butterflies, he tried to eat a dandelion, and he absolutely loved the playground. People were stopping and staring. Everyone wanted to take a picture. He was basically a local celebrity. He even let some kids pet his head. I even took him to the supermarket. He sat in the cart watching the world go by, though I had to stop him from grabbing literally every bunch of bananas we passed. But the best day of his childhood was definitely the beach. Once he saw the ocean, instinct just took over. He ran into the shallows, splashing the water and digging in the wet sand. He found a crab, poked it, got pinched, and threw a massive tantrum, punching the sand. It was hilarious. He was sweet, clumsy, and harmless. I genuinely thought, hey, maybe raising King Kong won't be that hard. I was so incredibly wrong. We are going to fast forward, because over the next 6 months, Kong didn't just grow, he mutated. He exploded in size. He is now over 9 feet tall, weighing over 800 pounds. And suddenly, he wasn't a cute pet anymore. He was a massive problem. His indoor jungle room destroyed. He accidentally smashed the rock cave just by sitting on it. He outgrew his bed, so he started sleeping on my bed, which completely snapped the frame in half. His diet went from berries and pancakes to insane proportions. I am feeding him entire crates of apples, giant sides of beef, and whole watermelons that he chews like they are grapes. I am spending thousands of dollars a week just to keep him from starving. He didn't even mean to be destructive. He was just too big and too strong for a human house. When he walked, the floorboards literally cracked, and the noise. When he gets bored at 3 a.m., he roars, and his roar now sounds like a freight train. My neighbors called the police 3 times. It became very clear. Kong was getting way too large to keep at home. If he was going to live a happy, healthy life, the next stage of his journey had to happen. I had to rent out a private, abandoned aircraft hangar on the outskirts of town. We are going to build him a brand new, giant-scale habitat. This isn't a DIY room project anymore. I had to hire a construction crew. We built a reinforced steel enclosure with 20-foot-high walls. Inside, we brought in actual massive boulders, planted full-sized oak trees, and created a massive concrete swimming pool for him to bathe in. Transporting him was a nightmare, but once he got inside, he seemed to love the extra space. For enrichment, I gave him giant tractor tires to play with. But for a growing alpha titan, standard toys don't last long. He was getting stronger every single day. But there was one major issue. Kong is a wild, primal creature, and no matter how big you make a cage, a titan knows when he is trapped. He didn't want a hangar. He wanted a kingdom.
Guys, we have a massive problem. Kong is officially out of control.
Over the last year, his growth rate went exponential. He is now over 40 feet tall. He weighs tons. I can't even get close to him anymore. The food deliveries alone require 2 semi-trucks a day. But worst of all, he is angry. He got sick of the enclosure. He missed the simplicity of being free, of walking outside. He realized that the steel walls holding him in weren't actually stronger than him. Oh my god, he broke out. Kong has escaped. There was now a 40-foot creature on the loose, and the world had never seen anything like this. He wasn't malicious, but his sheer size made him a walking natural disaster. He was destroying everything in his path, just by walking. Every step shook the ground. People were screaming. The police arrived, but their handguns were literally useless against his thick skin. It was like shooting spitballs at a brick wall. He was confused. He was scared by the noise of the sirens. So he did what apes do when they are threatened. He climbed to the highest point he could find. I tried to get close to him. I tried to use a megaphone to calm him down, to remind him of the tiny guy who used to eat pancakes in my kitchen. For a second, I thought he remembered me. I thought he was going to climb down. But then the military arrived. The government didn't see a confused pet. They saw a monster. They saw a threat that needed to be eliminated immediately. They sent in helicopters, tanks, and a heavily armed SWAT division. They surrounded the building, and that was the absolute worst thing they could have done, because you do not corner an alpha. The moment they fired on him, something snapped. He wasn't a pet anymore. He was King Kong, and he was going to fight back. The military opened fire, but his skin was too tough. He was too fast, too powerful, and filled with rage. He made the most advanced military technology look like plastic toys. He threw cars, he smashed barricades, he roared so loud it literally shattered the glass of every skyscraper on the block. They had no answer for him. Every missile they fired just made him angry. He absorbed the damage and pushed forward. He was unstoppable. But he didn't stick around to destroy the rest of the city. After neutralizing the threat, he remembered the one place outside of my house where he felt truly happy. He remembered the beach. He ran through the industrial district, broke through the final perimeter, and reached the water. Unlike when he was a baby splashing in the shallows, this time he was big enough to conquer the deep. He swam away, leaving the city, leaving the military, and leaving me behind. He was heading out into the unknown world to find his true home, to find a place big enough for a king. Starting off as a tiny, fluffy baby that was afraid of a house cat, to a massive 40-foot titan that single-handedly defeated the military. Raising Kong was the most insane, terrifying, and incredible experience of my entire life. I don't know where he's going, or if he'll ever come back, but one thing is for sure, the world is never going to be the same again. Thank you guys so much for watching this absolute madness. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below what mythical creature I should adopt next. See you in the next one.